it is a number that blew me away, and it should blow you away too because it's just absolutely insane. Welcome back to my channel. I think it's finally time to do a 1-year analysis of what I made on Rover for the last 12 months. The beeps are killing me. Okay, anyways, I do have a headset on right now from my iPhone. I forgot my other microphone, so I need to use what I have. But anyways, hope it works. I just thought it's finally time for me to do a 1-year analysis of what we made on Rover for the last 12 months. By the time this goes up, it is going to be September, but I'm going to go from last June, which was my very first video ever. If you haven't seen it, go watch it right now, till this past June of 2022. Oh, it's also 1 year, including my husband and I doing full-time starting November 2021 to current day. So between June 2021 to November 2021, it was just myself, and it was freaking hard. So I'll go into that a little bit more in the video, but I just want to go over month by month and just kind of talk about patterns and what might have happened to get those numbers. Stick till the end. And it is a number that blew me away, and it should blow you away too because it's just absolutely insane. So anyways, let's get into it right now. All right, so for June 2021, I think my previous video was 8,000 something, really close to 9,000. And I think if we factor in Venmo or PayPal payments, it would be about 9,000, so I'm just gonna round to 9,000. So just to be on the safe side, we're not gonna round too far up. It will be closer to the next 1,000 if it's above 500. And it was really hard because it was my first month going full-time. I had just quit my teaching job, and it was a lot of identity crisis issues going on. I can go in more depth about it for a future video, but at the time I had to really struggle with figuring out if this is just a side gig. If I can do this full-time, do I want to do this full-time? It's a whole nother video. July 2021 was also 9,000. So that gave me a little bit sense of like, okay, this is what to expect. Is it a summer? Is it just a fluke? I don't really know yet because it is just summer and people are just starting to travel again. So that was July 2021. Going into August, that was a huge bump. We did not travel at all. I don't think we did. And I began to get more traction. I remember it was really difficult because I was trying to figure out how to juggle my husband's job, which, by the way, was a night shift. He did a night shift job for over a year, and the typical weekend wasn't like the Saturday, Sunday that we're used to. It was like, I think I want to say Thursday, Friday, and his hours are something crazy, like 11 p.m. to 8 a.m., working from Saturday into Wednesday morning, and I wasn't even taking any weekends. I worked 7 days a week. So that is to justify how much we made in August. It was 19,000, so huge bump. So you would ask, what is the huge difference between July 2021 to August 2021? Why is there a $10,000 difference? I would attribute it to possibly the higher reviews that I got did get more traction to my Rover page. And also people were traveling a lot and things were opening up a lot more in August than July. It's a lot of stuff, you know, so I think that's probably why August was crazy. September was a huge month for us, and not because of how much we made, but because we are a part of a church community, and the church retreat is every year on Labor Day weekend. Huge weekend. People travel for Labor Day, right? But we don't take clients because we're out of town. There's no questions asked. We don't even consider missing the church retreat. We are happy to miss it, but we do miss out on our potential earnings. So for the month of September, it was approximately $14,000, and there's a difference between August, which is $19,000, to September to $14,000. So there's a difference of about $5,000, and I guess that's to expected for a holiday weekend. But you know, we're happy to miss it. It was just like, oh, okay, at least it's pretty consistent of what we should expect. So come October, we're like, okay, we need a break. Come October, we decided that we needed a break. We worked really hard June, July, August, September. My husband was working his job still. I was working full-time, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. practically every single day. And we needed something for our marriage, for us too, instead of just working and trying to balance it out at home. And the retreat was really great, loved it, but it was still with people and we wanted something just for ourselves. So we decided to take a cruise. We went to the Bahamas, and side note, the cruise was so great because there was a 40% max capacity and the full 40 wasn't even filled. So it was practically, I felt like there were more staff than like people attending the cruise. If you've been on the cruise, you know there's a lot of staffers. I feel like there's more staffers than like people going on the cruise. Anyway, so that was October, and that really did affect how much we made that month because we were gone for, I want to say 14 days. And because the window of availability is much smaller, there is less open calendar availability for people to book you. So we didn't make that much that month. It was about $8,000. And considering it was just my full-time job, it was passable. Like, I was very happy with it, but compared to the previous months, it was a huge difference. And we knew that going in because of our trip and also because it's towards the end of the summer and people were back in work, back in school. People weren't really traveling unless you're traveling for work. So that was to be expected. In November, oh my gosh, it was a crazy month. We surpassed all of our goals, and because of the holiday rate, which I think you should just take full advantage of, and we jumped right into November fresh and ready to go. We made way more than we thought we were gonna make, and it was hard work. I'm not gonna lie. I knew that was gonna be a lot of work because holidays are absolutely crazy, especially Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the busiest day of the year in any airport, and it's because people are traveling 2 days, 3 days, 4 days before the holiday instead of traveling on the holiday of Thanksgiving itself. So people would come in early. People would also leave a lot later than Thanksgiving and take advantage of like a whole week of break. So we had so many days of holiday rates. Side note, if you don't know this about Rover, if you book any day that overlaps one holiday and it's like 10 days long, the whole 10 days length will be considered holiday rate. So that really did work into our favor. So for the month of November, we did 22,400-ish. So if I round to the nearest thousand, it would be 22,000. So we did that, and I needed help. So I knew I needed help, and I asked my husband, first week of November, I said, please quit your job right now. I need you right now. Do the numbers make sense? Not quite yet, because based on June and July, we weren't covering 2 salaries yet. The spike in August did. The kind of spike in September didn't fully cover, but I knew that November was going to be an insane month, and I wanted to invest both of our time into this business. And you would think to tell us not to put our eggs in one basket, which is true. All our friends, well, some of our friends told us that too, but we had a hard talk and we decided that it was the best choice for us to have him go full-time with me because it allowed us to travel more, to have time that's not a daytime and a night shift with weird weekends. At least we're both working together and relieving each other of some of the responsibilities, and we knew what we were good at. So I was better at the back end. He was better doing, like, I guess you can say the dirty work. He did a lot of management with the dogs and the play style, picking up the dirty things, cleaning. I was doing all client relations, content. I was doing those things, and he was really good at the other stuff. But we had no break. We jumped right in. Beginning of November was great, but I was so tired by the end of November because of Thanksgiving. And then we're prepping for December. there was no break for December. People were booking us for November and December way back in the middle of summer, so we knew we couldn't take another vacation, even for the weekend. So for the month of December, because of Rover's policy and its holiday rates, it's not just Christmas and New Year's. It's actually Christmas Eve, Christmas, the day after Christmas, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. And I want to say January 2nd as well. So a lot of trips overlap those days. If you overlap any of those one days, it's holiday rate. So month of December was insane. I don't ever think we can ever top this number, but it was over $30,000. I'm not gonna say the exact amount, but it was over 30, and it was a lot of work, guys. I didn't even feel like we celebrated Christmas. Would I ever do Christmas like that again for a month of this? I don't think I would. We lived through it, we did it, we saw the fruits of it, which is over $30,000 in a month, but we didn't take any breaks. We were always on and off our phones. We were talking to clients every minute of the day. And keep in mind, I wasn't just doing daycare and boarding for December. It was a lot of drop-ins as well, because people were vacationing for long periods of time. They didn't really have a sitter, and they didn't want their elderly dog to be going to a sitter, so they had me or my husband drop in on their houses and did things like that. Keep in mind that 30 plus wasn't just boarding, in case you're doing some math on the side. It was other stuff too. So it was a lot. And because I'm literally removing myself from work, which is the dog room, I am putting a lot of responsibility on my husband, and I did not want to do that. It wasn't my preference, but I didn't really realize that when I had accepted the bookings, because they're so far in advance that it didn't really occur to me, okay, if I do this drop-in, I'm gonna be out of the house for an hour and a half. And he could manage, but it was just like, I just didn't feel like it was very fair for him, because I had a drop-in of 1 or 2 pups and he had all the dogs with him. So I just didn't feel really good about it. So if I didn't take those outside gigs, I think it would have been less. And yeah, for sure it would have been less, duh. January was a very interesting month because it was rolling out of Christmas into New Year's. So a lot of dogs who were still with us from New Year's have been with us for like 10 days already. They've been through the madness with us, and they're finally going home. So for the month of January, we went on a trip because we needed the break ASAP. We ended up going to Mexico and loved it. Great resort. It was one of those resorts where you need to go a timeshare for, so it was a very small, limited audience, but the resort was beautiful. It was in Puerto Vallarta, and we did so much there. For January, it was great. We did 22,000, including the week trip. Considering it was a week-long trip, I'm pretty pleased with how much we were able to make, and it justified him quitting his job. It made me feel a lot better too. So come February, I don't know what happened, but I don't know what happened. February, I don't really know what happened. We didn't take a break, or so I don't think we did. Did we go to NorCal? Did we go to, I don't remember. Did we go to see some family for the weekend? I don't know what happened, but for the month of February, did we go see family? I don't remember, but we made $6,800. So it was a lot less, super little, but it was a nice break. I guess like every time you see less numbers, you can imagine less dogs, less work, less time. Yeah, it was $6,800. Not the best, but you know what? We were just really happy that the holidays were over. Smaller number means less work, less dogs, less time on the job, but it was also just more time for ourselves. And it was nice to have a breather after the holidays. Okay, so for March 2022, there was a huge spike. I don't remember why. I think honestly, after the holidays and all the reviews I were able to get, my traction and for my page just boosted like crazy. We made 23-ish that month, and we're just very pleased with it. I don't really know what happened. I think we just hustled and bustled and worked really hard and made 23,000 that month. But yeah, moving on. Okay. In April, it was even more crazy. I don't know why. There's no answer for that one. I just think April was a surge in traveling, maybe Easter, I'm not sure. And I had more reviews, way more than I ever had because it keeps growing. So that is probably why. All right, May was interesting. We did go to Hawaii. We needed another break. Imagine like 23 in 1 month, 27 a second. So we needed a break. And you would think, oh my gosh, I travel so much. We do travel a lot. I think this past year we did about 6 trips. But also remember, we don't take weekends. We work 30 days in a month, 31 days in a month, and people usually take 8 days in a month because of weekends, but we don't do weekends. We just work really hard and try to plan our trips way in advance. We tend to get bookings about 3-4 months in advance. Like currently it is August 31st and I'm already getting bookings for February. That stuff does happen. It's kind of like an outlier, but now I know, okay, maybe I can't take a trip in February. I can take a trip end of January. So just stuff like that. We have to plan our trips way in advance. All right, so in May, we went to Hawaii. We knew we were gonna take a trip. So we closed down our availability. That month was $13,800. It wasn't that bad considering we took 9 days in Hawaii. And again, because it's 9 days, it doesn't mean that we took 21 days of booking. It probably means we took like 19 days or 18 days because our window was smaller and people are not gonna see us on their list if we have any overlap with their travel days, if that makes sense. So May was 13,800-ish. I will round up to 14, I guess. Finally, full circle into June 2022. It was a crazy month. People were traveling again, going on trips, kids were out of school. 27,700. I'm just rounding. So that is how much total we made in a whole calendar year since last year's update. I am so grateful for this job. I think God really put us in this place where I was so not sure if this is what I wanted to do. And people really used us as a socializing tool for them, for their dogs. A lot of people in my area, single, they live in apartments. I lived in a house and they wanted their dogs to play with other dogs. So God really put us in a place where we could charge more due to us being in a house versus an apartment that can only take maybe 4 max. We were able to take a lot more than that, and we're just so incredibly grateful for this opportunity with Rover. And that is it. That's pretty much what we made in the year of 2022. I believe it should be pretty accurate. I did include some roundups because of cash payments, whether it's to PayPal, Venmo, or just cold hard cash. So that should be pretty accurate. If not, I'm so sorry. It's a good ballpark. Leave me a message below. Happy to answer them. Super excited to help people grow their business on Rover. I'm really passionate about it, and I believe that everyone can do it. You just have to take it very seriously. It is a real job, and people entrust you to take care of the dogs. So I highly recommend doing your research, having systems set in place before doing it, and just be really realistic about what you can charge, because houses can demand more than an apartment. If you're living near a park, you can probably demand more than if you don't. So really consider those things as you're pricing. But be very clear in your bio so you can justify why you're charging this much. Not everyone will read your bio because they're like, wow, they charge so much, they'll probably move on. But for those who do, they will get it, and you'll be just really grateful to have them reaching out to you. I truly believe in you guys. If I can do it, you can do it. Just leave a comment below if you have any questions. Happy to answer them. People are shooting me DMs. I'm reading those as well. Definitely open to giving you any advice, but please take it with a grain of salt, because what worked for me probably will not work for every single person, because our situation is different. I live in an area where the demand is very high. I also live in a house. In my old location, I lived in a home that had a yard and fully fenced, while a lot of our neighbors lived in apartments. There was a lot of factors that went into how much I can price. So definitely look into that and look at your competitors. What your neighbors charge may not be what you can charge, because you can probably charge a little more. Or maybe you might have to charge a little less, but be fair and be realistic about what the price is. If you have not already, please like and comment this video, and then subscribe, ring the little bell notification so you'll be notified for my next video. I am trying to post more updates, more tips to help you grow your Rover business. We are going to talk all things dog business, dog food, just anything dog related. I'm so excited. I'm very passionate about this. You probably are too if you're here. My last video had people leaving comments like horror stories, and I thought they're so funny, and I just want to read more if there are any. Happy to share some of mine as well, but that's a video for another time. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! I'm so freaking hungry right now. It's like 2 in the morning. I can't believe I'm filming this right now. Anyways. Okay. Oh my gosh, I switched my mouse pad to track the other direction, so I'm scrolling like backwards. Where is it?